I'm Hilary, a mom in Oklahoma.
And I'm Hannah, a mom in Texas.
And this is the Don't You Two Read podcast. Hi, guys. We're excited to be back with I don't know what episode number this is. Is it 74?
75.
Something. Yeah, a lot. But our second of this format, so it's still new, So I'm excited. So, how's it been going, Hannah?
Well, I have tea, water, and marshmallows because I keep coughing.
I keep coughing too.
It's
That's
really bad.
crazy.
It's real bad. Once I get going, it's bad.
Me too.
We cannot delay the recording because so Hillary is gonna have her baby soon. We really don't know. It could be tomorrow, could be a few weeks. Like, we don't have time to delay this episode.
To be clear, it will not be a few weeks. It'll be uh, a week or I guess 2 weeks, the
Yeah,
max. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I also have editing ability to edit any coughing out. So I'm here. I'm ready.
Is it allergies?
I think so because I don't have
Yeah,
any other symptoms. So it is bizarre. I don't know. I feel
yeah.
fine, but once I get like an itch in my
Here
throat, oh,
in Oklahoma, I looked it up while I was in the bath, and there's the allergy report, and it was like tree pollen is very high, and I'm like, well,
that's interesting.
that's probably explains my runny nose, my cough, and my post nasal drip. It's
Yeah,
spring in Oklahoma, and it's like the wind is blowing like 45 miles per hour outside, and
mm,
it's like 80 degrees one day and 20
yeah.
degrees the next day, and I'm like, cut the show.
I think that does mess you up, the weather changing so much. With
Yeah,
so
it's the South. I think it's the South in the spring. It's a roller coaster. It's bad. So my sympathies to anybody going through that. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today and the episode later is like reading in crazy times, in crazy seasons. And I know like we've talked about it a little bit, but we're just going to be really chill about it today. But yeah, because I mean, crazy times look different for all of us, but
yeah,
sometimes it just be that way.
yeah. hmm Okay, so let's start with what we're currently reading, and you can go first this time.
Okay, so there are two I'm going to talk about, but not only because I'm not reading two right now. It's because the one I'm currently reading right now, I literally started chapter two.
hmm
So I just started it, but the one I just started is Through Each Tomorrow by Gabrielle Meyer.
Oh
We were
yeah.
talking about that one.
Yeah.
It's book, is it five?
Yeah.
Yeah, in this series, which is crazy that I read that whole series so far, like this year or with from last year to now.
hmm
Um, and that's like that. It's Christian fiction. I call it Christian fiction, but I don't feel like it reads very much like Christian fiction. Um, I don't know even what that means, like reading like Christian fiction would be, but
hmm
it doesn't feel like preachy or anything. Her books don't feel preachy to me. The only one that I would say there, I forget, there's one of them that feels more religious, but
hmm
it's because she's a pastor's daughter.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just started this one. I'm on chapter two. I don't know what I think about it at all because I just started it. Right off the bat, my initial thought is it's kind of weird that we are coming from a guy's perspective.
hmm
And I was like, I feel like we should talk about that. I'm like, do I love books from guys' perspective? And I don't know. I know I could hear like my husband, wow, I can't believe you. But I'm like, I don't know.
Is it that common, first of all? And I guess it depends what genre you're reading. I would say in sci-fi it would be very common.
Yeah, because I guess I read a legal like thriller or whatever, and
Uh-huh,
that was from a
yeah.
guy's perspective, and it didn't bother
Yeah.
me like that. I shouldn't say this
Maybe
bothers me. It doesn't bother me, but it's a little harder for me to like immerse myself in it, if that makes sense.
I always see people's opinions about male POVs where either I see a lot of people say, this does not sound like a man, which, you know what? How do you know?
Mm. Oh, but maybe that's part of it though, because you're like, it is a woman writing a man, but then
Yeah.
people say they love that too.
Well, that's the thing too. I think sometimes maybe authors like overcompensate. The guy is cursing nonstop. They're just like, "Oh, her butt," or whatever. And I'm like, "Okay, it just feels like too much." But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I used to really love dual POVs where you had both the female and the male POVs, but now I don't know. I don't feel like it's necessary.
Why? Because I heard Jamie from that podcast, I tell you about,
Yeah.
she talked about that, how she said she doesn't love a dual POV. And she said because she's like sometimes it's different, but she's like usually I feel like it takes away the um
Like the yearning.
yeah, she's like it takes away the guessing to where you're
Uh-huh.
like now you know how each other feels. It takes away the mystery of it.
I could see
And
that. And I could see how it would make you more grumpy, or well, me. Because, like, example, if you're reading a Friends to Lovers and you see how she feels and then you see how he feels, and you as the reader, you're like, you both like each other, you're being stupid. Whereas if you only saw her perspective the whole time, you're on the journey with her and you're like, I don't know if he's into you in that way. So you'd probably
mhm.
feel, yeah, I could see how that would feel very different when you're on the ride.
I feel like they started that though. I mean, I don't know when I mean, it's probably very old, but I feel like it started whenever like with a lot of fantasy or like grumpy, like whenever they're so grumpy.
Yeah.
Is the hating game dual POV?
No,
It might no.
I don't think so. I don't think so because I think that if it were, we would know how he felt about her.
Okay, yeah. So after that then, so that's the first book I think about as like a modern romance,
Yeah.
like a more modern. So that was a problem with people was they were like he's so rude, like he was so rude, and but I think to compensate for that a lot of authors are like will put the guy's point of view in there to
Yeah.
soften, so like she's like oh he's hateful, but then you're like oh he says I feel so nervous around her, so it makes you instantly like okay I understand,
Yeah.
whatever, anyway. um so it's just interesting, but
Hmm.
that's different in a romance versus this is. I mean, I don't know what this would
He,
you've read this. I have not. Is it you would consider this a romance? Not really.
I mean, no, I think there's romance in it, but I would not.
But it's not like dual POV like the
No,
guy romance, the
the
guys
dual POV
whatever.
is like they have their own storylines. They are not the romance.
Yeah.
So he's on his own journey. She's on, they're like siblings, right? They're related.
Uh-huh, but they're in two different timelines.
Right. And so it's following her story and his. So I don't know. I don't want to say
I'm
anything
looking at
else.
I'm looking at my bookshelves right now and I'm like, no, the majority of my books are from a female perspective. And I don't know if that's because that's how they're written and published or if that's just what I
I think that it was,
gravitate
I
to.
think that I could see you gravitating towards single POV, but also I feel like dual POV was at a very trendy moment, and I do think it's switching back. Like the pendulum is
Mm.
swinging back to, I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, we want single POV."
Hmm.
I don't know. I think there's a time and place for both, and I don't really have a strong opinion about like,
But it's if it's single though, it's usually a woman, right? Or no?
yeah. Yeah, rarely would it not be. I mean, in a romance, yeah. I feel like
But
it was a
but
woman.
in a lot of books in general, is it because women are the primarily readers?
Maybe.
I have a lot of questions. I'm like, this needs to be a whole deep dive that I don't have the answers to at all.
I mean, do you want to read about a man like all the time?
Not usually, and but it made me think because we were talking to our sister Heather, and she was telling us how her husband just recently read Project Hail Mary and he loved it, and he was like, what else can I read?
Hmm.
And I was like, It's either like a market that I'm not aware of as much, or doesn't exist as much because it has been pushed towards
No,
women.
yeah, I think there is because like the Jack Reacher, like there's a whole like suspense
Yes. Yes, but
category.
that's a different type of book,
Well,
right?
yeah, yes, a different genre. Again, I think
Hmm.
sci-fi,
Yeah.
thriller, even, yeah, I think there are men thrillers, like not the Frida McFadden. Like I think there are other genres that we are not, that I am not
That needs to
dabbling
be another
in.
episode later, like books for dudes.
Yeah,
Or I don't know. I don't know.
it's true.
Yeah, because I think that's important too. Like if you have sons or husbands or whatever, or you're like, I just want a different perspective. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just made me think. So anyway, all that deep dive, that was not about. That's the book I'm currently on. The book I just
You didn't
finished.
even say what it was about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just started. It's like the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Time
time
travel.
traveler. They go to sleep and they wake up in a different time in life. So which sucks because like they never sleep or they sleep, but they're
Yeah,
like you never. I'm like, how are you rested?
but
I don't know.
I wake up so many times in the middle of the night.
Oh, right now I would be like it would be a disaster for
Yeah.
me. Like every 20 minutes I'd be like, "Oh, I'm over there. Oh, I'm back." I don't know either, but I mean there's some plot holes, okay? Like some like stuff like that, but apparently it's going to be a 10 book series and I don't know if that's how she intended it. It's not
No.
the same characters. They're different characters every book. So I think that's how she kind of gets away with it.
Mm.
Um, but
Different time,
every
different settings, different
mhm,
everything. Just the same bones, like the
different
same.
countries, different.
I love it.
Yeah, they're all so good.
Yeah, I could see myself still being excited about it because there's a lot of books that I'm like, okay, that's enough. We don't need to drag it out.
It's the same story over and over. Yeah.
Yeah, for this series, oh, I still feel excited about anything that she would write in that or not even that universe, just with that concept. I would
And I
read
think
it.
her introducing a male is something new. I'm not saying I'm against it. It's just different. I've noticed the difference in a male perspective. And it does though. It does change the feel of the book. So it does make it like fresh in that
Hmm.
sense. The other book I'm reading is just it was a cozy mystery. We can talk about that in a second. But that's what I'm reading right now. So what are you reading?
So today, this morning, I did a book flight, which I don't know if that's the proper term.
Is that like you trying different books to see?
Yeah, I tried a few different books because I just, I'm struggling and I don't know.
So did you read like a chapter or like a few pages?
Well, I was like, I'm going to read one chapter of each of these books that I'm interested in, and then I will see if there's any that I feel like I want to continue reading, or if I don't feel into any of them, then I'm gonna find something else. So I did that, and the one I'm reading that I was interested is Remember Me by Chelsea Bobulski. It is this is what's crazy. So it's labeled as a YA gothic thriller slash horror. Um
Okay.
yeah, you're gonna be like, why are you doing this? So this is what it says it's about. An eerie and suspenseful YA novel, a teen girl discovers what connects her to the hotel that she calls home as horrifying visions lead her to the truth. So far, I'm only like 25% in, but so far there's this girl, her and her dad, they move into this hotel, the Winslow Grand Hotel. It was built in the 1800s, and as she is getting used to living in this hotel, there's like weird things that start happening. Just literally before our podcast, I was like reading it, and she was in the shower, and then she heard creaking noises, and she looked out, there's nothing there. But then, whenever she got out of the shower, the door was still locked, but like the mirror was fogged up, and there was writing on the mirror. The drawers were opened.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like a book you would read, but I don't know.
But the book is written from her perspective, but then every alternating chapter, we have the perspective of a different girl who she visited the hotel back, what is that, like hundreds of years ago. So we're solving some mystery. I don't quite know what the mystery is. I'm wondering, how are these two girls going to intersect? You know what I mean? Something has to happen at this hotel. because why are we seeing both perspectives of like the
Yeah, you
girl
see
who's very.
that. You see that a lot, like in like an Alice Feeney book or something.
So I don't know. I'm intrigued.
You said it. Did you say it's YA? Yes, you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, and I think I kind of feel like because of that, I feel more comfortable that I won't be too scared.
I was gonna ask if this is your nighttime, like if you read this at nighttime too, or what.
No, I'm not going to read it at night because it's specifically one of the advertisements on like the marketing post. One of them that I saw after I started the book, it was like, this will keep you up at night. And I was like, literally what I don't want.
You're like, thank you for the warning.
But I am interested. I'm interested in the book and I'm interested in the concept. It doesn't feel super creepy, but the shower moment, I was like, ooh,
Hmm.
the chills.
So what are you gonna read at night? You don't know yet.
No, I haven't decided yet because I've just been disliking pretty much everything.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, so let's talk about our topic. Is it's just gonna be how do you read whenever life gets crazy? So this came up because Hannah just got back from like a long vacation. And so I know stuff changes, like your situation scenario changes. So your reading usually changes. So how do you like how did you deal with that?
On this trip specifically, I barely read anything because, I mean, there are lots of reasons, but we had a ton of car time. And so normally that would be a lot of reading time for me. However, like it depends on how old your kids are. If you have kids with you and for whatever reason, my kids were just not letting me read, which is
Hmm.
fine. And then also like directions, like we were traveling in very different places
Uh-huh.
every time. So it was either super late at night and I wanted to be like helping Josh stay awake,
You weren't like driving home.
winding through mountains, and I was just stressed out, like couldn't really focus on reading.
Oh, yes, because you drove to Moab. Those mountains are stressful.
Yeah, for me, yes. I was like, everybody needs to shut up because the boys were like, Mom, I need to goldfish. And I was like, I need everybody to be quiet. So no, there's no reading. I was like level 10. So yeah, in moments like that, you have to just accept if it doesn't happen, that's fine. And then, of course, it would be bedtime and I would
Hmm.
go to read and I'm just so wiped because we've been up, since 5 a.m. and now it's 10 p.m. and I'm just like, good night.
Hmm.
So I don't know. This is not really helpful. I really didn't read and I really had to have a moment where I was like, it's why is it a problem? If you go a week without reading.
Basically, that is what you did. Like for me, the last 2 weeks have been crazy. Like, as y'all know, I'm pregnant. Or if you didn't know, I'm pregnant. And I'm almost due, but so life already, like, just because of that is crazy, but your routines get thrown off. And so that, I guess that's what I'm trying
Mhm.
to say. Like, when your routine or my routine gets thrown off, I'm kind of like, I don't know. And the first half of my pregnancy, I was very sick, like very nauseous, and I just really struggled to read. It just, I don't know. It was hard for me to focus on anything without, I just felt sick all the time. And
Mhm.
then, so like the second half of the year, I don't know that I loved much. It was hard. And then, I eventually felt better towards the Christmas time. So I like those books better. And then now I am reading more, but it's hard for me to find something I love right now.
Mhm.
And I think it's honestly part of it is just the season that I'm in. And I guess, like you said, accepting it, it's easier said than done. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, I thought about it like I thought about it earlier this week when we were thinking about it. Like, just like there are seasons in life of like, I don't know, like just like your relationship goes through seasons or there's seasons with your kid. It's just like embracing like, oh well, this is just what it is for now. It will get better. It'll come back. And that's
Mhm.
been hard because a lot of the stuff I've read, I'm like, I like it fine. That's been a lot of the stuff. I'm like, it's fine. I just don't love it. I was talking to my husband about it. I don't know like if my tastes are changing or if it's just a season for me. And I told him I kind of wonder if I've just been reading so many like in quotes hits are like top books or whatever.
Hmm.
And maybe those just aren't like for me right now. I don't know what I'm saying. Like just accepting like maybe I don't want to read these super popular books right now because everyone says they're amazing and that means I'm gonna hate them. So I don't know. So that's why I said I'll talk about it later. I'm reading a cozy mystery, or I just finished a cozy mystery, and it was like the second book in a series about a lady that brews beer in Leavenworth, Washington. Which is funny because I don't drink beer and I've never been to Leavenworth, but it's just a very like very low stakes. Like someone does die, but it doesn't really matter. And was it a 5 star? No. But
Hmm.
I think like that helps me is to find something that you're like, I don't need whatever I'm reading next to be a 5 star.
Yeah, I agree with that because I've felt like that a lot recently. I have had a lot of DNFs and then I had two stars in a row and I don't need a 5 star. Like that's just clearly not going to happen. And that's fine. I just need something that's going to be fine. That's going to be, an okay time. And a lot of times I feel like I turn to like a novella for that
Hmm.
because I'm not really
Like quick.
probably, yeah, I'm realistically not going to obsess over a novella, but also they're sometimes just the thing I need where we're not getting too deep. It's just we're not thinking that hard and it's just this is something that's fun and that's it.
Yeah, I've kind of wondered if that's like if I've been trying too many books that are like require too much from me and whatever that might be. That might even be like a romance, but it might be like a 400-page romance. And I'm like, my
Yeah.
brain's like, no. So the cozy mystery, I like my kid got sick a few days ago, and it allowed me to just set the book up and down, up and down, up and down,
Hmm.
like and then I fell asleep, and then she fell asleep, and but it wasn't that big a deal because they're still working on their you know they're still cleaning the pub and it
Hmm.
does like nothing has really changed. And so it doesn't really matter. I could just open the book and here we are. We're still serving beer at the pub and nothing really else has happened. And I don't have to be like, okay, so what happened? What? I don't know. But I think
Yeah.
for everyone, it's a little bit different. Like, I feel like that's how you are with Christmas books too sometimes.
For sure. For sure. Because even with Christmas books, my standard is just different. I enjoy a lot more with Christmas. I put up with a lot more in a Christmas book.
That's how I feel with the cozy mystery. I'm like, I'm not, I'm just asking for you to entertain me. I don't
Yeah.
want, and that's what kind of what you're seeking almost, I think, is the predictability. Maybe that's what it is, like, because you're like, I already know how this is going to end.
Maybe we need to be rereading books.
Yeah. But I've heard that. Have you heard that too about like people rewatching shows
Uh-huh.
and stuff that they're like, that's why in times of stress, people recommend that.
Yes. And I heard that about music too, that it was saying go listen to music that you loved as a teenager and how it gives you a lot of comfort because it does. It sends your brain into that weird nostalgia.
And you're like, I know how this is beginning, middle, end. I know all of it. And it's just something predictable. But that's how I feel about cozy mysteries too. Like, even though if I haven't read them, I'm like, I already know. Like, I already know they're gonna
Mhm.
solve this murder. It's not gonna be one of the main characters that does it. It's not gonna be like it's secretly her husband who killed the person.
Yeah,
It's
like a
not,
psychological thriller.
yeah, it's not gonna be any of that, which sounds really boring. And it can be really boring, but I kind of wonder in times of like stress if that's what you need. And I think that's why I like Harry Potter because that is like a reread. It just, I know how it's going to end. However, those are 5 star reads for me. So,
Okay, I have a question. I think it's very trendy right now. I don't say that necessarily in a bad way, but I think it's very trendy right now in the book world that audio is king. Where if you're busy, if life is busy, if life is chaotic, you can still read because you can do audio.
mhm.
How do you feel about that in your own life?
I mean, I feel like that's a whole deep dive. I don't like audiobooks for the most part. And I think I've learned that about myself. And I have my only real goal, it's not a goal, but I have tried to do less audio because I tend to like books less
Mm-hmm.
whenever they're on audio. And I also got that brick for my phone to try to reduce my phone time, which I still listen to podcasts and I still listen or watch YouTube videos. So I like those, but I don't feel like I can focus like I want to on audiobooks personally. I know it's a whole thing and people get so angry about like audiobooks are reading too, and I don't really care. Like read or listen, I don't care what people do. For me, all I know is my brain takes it in differently. I do not get the same feeling of decompressing sitting with a book, whether it's Kindle or paper, as I do sitting with an audio. Where the audio, I feel like my brain is still going in a
Yeah.
different way. Where sitting, focusing on a book, I can actually maybe like, check out of something and into the story a little better. Not always, not in times of stress. I struggle sometimes to focus,
Right.
but audio almost never grabs me at the same.
I think that too. And I wondered why I'm like this because when I do audio, it's not that I don't do audio, but when I do, I would say 95% of the time, if I'm doing audio, I am also reading it with my eyes
Hmm.
while I'm listening. So rarely do I just do audio and I'm not reading with my eyes because and I told you this on vacation, I had the ebook and I had the audiobook and I went to go do the puzzle. We were doing a puzzle and everybody was asleep and I thought, "Oh yeah, let me go, I'll listen to a few chapters on the audio version." No. I listened to a few chapters and then I had to go back and reread it all with my eyeballs because I was like, apparently that just went in and out. And so
Hmm.
so for me, um, I know it's a thing. It seems to me like it's very common where people will have an audiobook all the time. Like if you're driving, if you're grocery shopping, if you're folding laundry and all that.
You have to be intaking something at all times.
Yeah, yes. A few years ago, I would naturally be like, "Oh, this is an opportunity. Let me play an audiobook." This was years ago. And eventually I was like, this is not the best time for me to listen to an audiobook. For
Hmm.
example, I'll be cooking dinner and I'm already kind of like at a level, let's say level 7. And then I have the two kids talking or making ruckus. I'm like, okay, now that kind of levels me up to a level 8.
Hmm. Like overstimulated, yeah.
Yes, burn something on dinner. Now I'm a level 9 and my audiobook is still going. It's just bad. For me, it's too much most of the time.
Yeah, I've kind of had to realize, yes, if I do audio, it will help me get my numbers up in books for sure. But is that really what I want is just to get my numbers up? No, like the reason I want to read more is because I like reading and I want to take in more stories because I like doing that for myself. I enjoy it. But if I'm being honest, I'm like, not most audiobooks. Now, sometimes I do, like you said, there are times where like there's something about doing a puzzle and listening to an audiobook that does help me listen. And if it's the right book, I
Yes.
really enjoy it. Or like whenever Noelle was little, like a year, and I did not have any margin to sit down and read a book, like she was little,
Mhm.
but she also didn't talk that much.
Mhm.
Like that was the only way I could get in a book. And so I remember distinctly like listening to Evelyn Hugo on the Libby and I don't know, some other books that were out then that that was before like Bookstagram was a huge thing. But but that was the only way I could take in a story. And I wasn't really reading the books either. I was just listening and moving on. And
Yeah.
I wasn't like trying. I think my goal at that time was like to read 10 books in the year.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. But so there were a time in a season that like if that's all I could do, but I struggle to focus though with them. And honestly, like I'm sure people's brains work differently. My brain just wanders off. And
Mhm.
especially people, the way they listen to them, they listen so fast. And I'm like, I just can't. I don't know. I can't. I'm like, I'm stupid. I
We
don't
don't have
know.
enough time to like dive into this as much as I have the thoughts, but I have seriously thought about this. And again, this is not the trendy idea, so sue me, but I have thought that would you watch Survivor at 3 times speed? No. Would I? No. I wouldn't even enjoy it at that point.
But we do though, like reels now.
I say that, but when Josh watches YouTube videos, he does. He speeds them up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to things at 3 times speed ever, like ever, ever. But he will hear mine. I don't listen to them at 1 time speed either. And he's like, why are you listening to that so fast? You just, I guess, get accustomed to what you're listening to because he listens to YouTube videos and I'm literally thinking, how can you understand anything that they're saying?
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go research this. We're gonna go research audiobooks and speed and what it is on your brain, good and bad, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do a deep dive. And then everyone's gonna get really angry at us, which is fine. Whatever.
If you love audio and listen to it all the time, that's
That's
fine.
great.
Yeah, it's great. If it works. And like Hillary said, I think it's a good reminder too. When you had Noelle, you were listening to audiobooks, like that worked in that chaotic season. So I think every chaotic season is different too. Like me driving on the road trip through mountains is very different than me driving to Oklahoma on a path that is flat that we drive all the time. So like
Hmm.
chaotic seasons, I think even between the two is vastly different. So, yeah.
Yeah, go with the flow. It's hard. It's hard for people that are, uptight like us. Okay. What are you wanting to read next week or soon? Oh, you don't know. I guess you have no idea.
I have no idea. I've been doing more podcasts. I've been leaning into the funk and just like letting myself. We've been watching a lot of Lost. I've been listening to podcasts. We've been watching Survivor. So I'm still reading, but
Maybe that's good. Maybe that's good for you. Like,
the books will come back.
yeah, I don't know honestly what I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read this one by Gabrielle Meyer and then
I don't know, like maybe baby.
yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling at this point. Like, and I have no idea what I'll feel like. And then I was like, I might just be reading cozy mysteries for the foreseeable future. I don't know. We'll
You
just
need
have to
you need
see.
cozy mysteries and like Christmas romance or
You know what's funny
something.
is I like cozy mysteries, but I don't like cozy fantasy. So I don't know.
They're not the same.
Yeah, they don't feel the same, but the people talk about them like they're the same. But
Hmm.
I don't know. But I don't really know. Yes, I'm honestly like I could have the baby at any in the next 15 days, honestly. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But Lord willing, I will be here next week.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how many more episodes we squeeze out of Hillary.
I would say at the most one more, but we'll see. If it's two guys, I will be unwell and we'll be talking about something completely else. In my like therapy session. Okay, you can find me at Hillary Reads in the meantime.
And I'm at Hannah Reads.
And our podcast is at Don't You To Read podcast, all on Instagram. Come find us. You guys have been. We appreciate it. It's fun to see you guys follow us and talk to us. We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and comment in our Spotify where you listen, and you can let us know how you read, if you read at all during your chaotic times. And yeah, just let us know. Any feedback, that's good. I'm just kidding. Any
Yeah, I
feedback,
was like,
you can let
any
us know.
good feedback is great.
Let us know, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.